You feel it when you walk down the street. It's in the glass towers that mirror the mountains. It's on the logos of your grocery bags. It's the name shining on the side of a hospital wing. There's a quiet hum beneath the city, an invisible architecture of power that shapes Vancouver. We see the city, we live in it, we work in it. But do we really know who owns it? No, we're not talking about the city government. We're talking about a group of families, titans of industry, whose fortunes are so deeply rooted in this city that their decisions ripple through the lives of every single resident. You've walked past their stores, cheered in their arenas. Maybe you even live in one of their buildings. But who are the dynasties that are really pulling the strings of Vancouver's economy? These aren't just stories about money. They're sagas of ambition, immigration, risk and legacy. They're about how a single choice made decades ago can define the skyline you see today. These are the stories of Vancouver's 10 richest families. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on the multi-billion-dollar empires that call this city home. We'll get into their origins, their massive holdings, and just how much they influence the city you think you know. And the family in our number one spot will change how you see Vancouver forever. To really get a handle on wealth in Vancouver, you have to know that it comes in a few different flavors. You've got the global tech money that moves here for the lifestyle, the old school resource money that built the province, and then you have the empires built brick by brick right here on the Burrard Peninsula. So, our countdown isn't just about who has the biggest bank account, it's about who is most woven into the fabric of Vancouver. It's about who has the most skin in the game, whose fortunes rise and fall with the city itself. We'll kick off our countdown with a name that, for many Vancouverites, is synonymous with culture, education and philanthropy. A family whose generosity has literally built one of the city's most iconic institutions. Our list begins with a family whose name is etched into the cultural heart of Vancouver, the Chan family. While their fortune, estimated at over $1 billion, is rooted in global commerce and local real estate, their most visible legacy is one of art, performance, and community. The story of the Chan family in Vancouver is a powerful narrative of immigration, entrepreneurial success, and a deep-seated belief in giving back. The family's journey to Vancouver began with the patriarch, Chan Shun, who founded a textile and garment empire in Hong Kong. In 1987, seeking stability and new opportunities, he and his sons, Tom and Caleb, immigrated to Canada, bringing their business acumen with them. They established the Burrard International Holdings Group, a real estate and development company that would become a significant player in the Vancouver market. The company focused on diverse holdings, including a portfolio of golf courses like the prestigious Nicholas North, and various real estate developments that quietly grew their wealth and influence in their new home. But it was a landmark act of philanthropy that made Chan a household name. The family's most enduring mark on the city came from a historic donation to the University of British Columbia. This gift led to the creation of the Chan Center for the Performing Arts, an architectural marvel and one of North America's premier concert halls that opened in 1997. The center became an instant cultural hub, a testament to the family's vision of fostering arts and culture. Their philanthropic spirit didn't stop there. In a move that underscored their commitment to the city's artistic future, the Chan family made a record-breaking $40 million donation to the Vancouver Art Gallery's relocation project. This donation, the largest of its kind to an arts and culture project in BC's history, ensures that the new gallery building will be named the Chan Center for the Visual Arts. Brothers Caleb and Tom Chan have continued to steer the family's business and philanthropic endeavors, ensuring their father's legacy is one of both commercial success and profound civic contribution. Though they maintain a lower public profile than some others on this list, the Chan family's impact is monumental, proving that true wealth can be measured not just in assets, but in the cultural landmarks gifted to a city. At number 9, we have a family whose empire is a fixture of daily life for almost every British Columbian. If you've ever picked up a prescription, bought a camera, or grabbed groceries for the week, you've likely contributed to the fortune of the Brant Louis family. As the owners of H.Y. Louis Company Limited, the parent company of London Drugs and the IGA grocery chain in BC, the Louis have built a quiet, multi-generational dynasty on retail fundamentals, with a family fortune estimated at over $1.5 billion. The story begins with Hock Yat Louis, who immigrated to Vancouver from rural China in the late 19th century. In 1903, he founded H.Y. Louis Company Limited, starting as a wholesale provisioner in Vancouver's Chinatown, supplying goods to the growing community. It was his son, Tong Louis, who transformed the business into a retail powerhouse. An astute businessman with a sharp eye for opportunity, Tong Louis acquired the London Drugs chain in 1976. At the time, it was a small chain of pharmacies, but Tong saw the potential to expand its offerings far beyond prescriptions. This was the masterstroke. Instead of just being a drugstore, London Drugs evolved into a unique one-stop-shop department store, selling everything from high-end cameras and computers to kitchen appliances and cosmetics, all alongside its core pharmacy business. This model was wildly successful, creating a trusted brand that became an institution across Western Canada. Under the leadership of Tong's son, Brant Louis, who took the helm as chairman and CEO, the company has solidified its position. Brant Louis, a graduate of UBC, has not only expanded the family's business interests, but has also become a pillar of the province's academic and philanthropic communities, notably serving as the long-time chancellor for Simon Fraser University. The family's ownership of the IGA grocery franchise in BC further deepens their integration into the daily lives of Vancouverites. Unlike flashy developers or tech moguls, the Louis family's wealth was built on a simple yet powerful strategy: reliability, steady growth, and becoming an indispensable part of the neighborhood fabric. Their story is a testament to how a century-old family business can adapt and thrive, becoming one of the most respected and enduring fortunes in the city. Coming in at number 8 is a family whose name is synonymous with the industrial backbone of Metro Vancouver. The Beatty family, led by Ryan Beatty, presides over a real estate empire that doesn't just build shiny condo towers, but creates the spaces where the city works. As the largest private industrial landowner and developer in the region, their influence is measured in millions of square feet, with a private fortune estimated to be in the billions. The Beatty story began in 1954, when patriarch Keith Beatty founded Beatty Construction with a focus on building single-family homes. An old-school builder with a reputation for quality, Keith started small, but his core values of service and reliability laid the groundwork for what was to come. The company gradually shifted from residential to industrial construction, a move that proved visionary. In the mid-1980s, they began focusing on developing large industrial parks, anticipating the explosive growth of the region's economy and its need for warehouses, distribution centers, and manufacturing facilities. The true expansion came when Keith's son, Ryan Beatty, joined the company in 1993 after getting his MBA from UBC. Ryan became president in 2001 and supercharged the company's growth, expanding its portfolio to over 35 million square feet of industrial space across British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, and even into the United States. If you've had a package delivered from a major retailer or seen a film production truck, chances are the warehouse it came from was a Beatty property. The company's Built for Good motto is reflected not just in their buildings, but in their immense philanthropy. The family's connection to the community runs deep, particularly in Burnaby, where Keith lived for over 60 years and where the company headquarters remain. This connection was immortalized with a landmark $22 million donation to Simon Fraser University, which renamed its business faculty the Beedie School of Business. More recently, Ryan and his wife Cindy launched the Beedie Luminaries program, a scholarship fund that has committed tens of millions to helping promising students facing financial barriers. The Beedie family represents a unique form of power in Vancouver, not through public-facing brands, but through the foundational concrete and steel infrastructure that allows the city's economy to function, all while investing their returns back into the community's future. At number 7, we find a dynasty whose name is a pillar of Canadian hospitality and a growing force in professional sports. The Gagliardi family, through their company Northland Properties, owns a sprawling portfolio of hotels, restaurants and resorts that cater to millions of Canadians. With patriarch Bob Gagliardi's net worth estimated by Forbes at over $5 billion, their empire is a masterclass in diversification and ambition. The family's public legacy began with Bob's father, Flying Phil Gagliardi, a famously charismatic cabinet minister in the W.A.C. Bennett government of the 50s and 60s. But the business empire was founded by Bob. In 1963, armed with a $5,000 loan, he launched the business in Kamloops. In 1967, he opened the first Sandman Inn in Smithers, BC, the first step in building what would become one of Canada's most recognizable hotel chains. The company expanded relentlessly, but also faced near bankruptcy in the 1980s, a crisis they famously weathered with help from other titans on this list, including Jim Pattison and Luigi Aquilini. The modern era of the empire is led by Bob's son, Tom Gagliardi, who became president in 1993. Tom transformed the company's strategy. He acquired the Canadian rights for the Denny's restaurant chain and began pairing the family-friendly eateries with their Sandman hotels, a simple but brilliant stroke of vertical integration that stabilized the company and fueled its growth. Northland's portfolio now includes over 60 Sandman and Sutton Place hotels and restaurant chains like Moxie's, Chop Steakhouse and Shark Club. Their assets are valued at close to $8 billion. But Tom Gagliardi's ambition extended beyond hospitality. A passionate hockey fan, he entered the high-stakes world of professional sports. After a well-publicized, unsuccessful court battle against Francesco Aquilini for ownership of the Vancouver Canucks, Gagliardi set his sights south. In 2011, he purchased the bankrupt Dallas Stars NHL team for $240 million. It was a massive gamble that paid off handsomely. The franchise is now valued at over $2 billion. The family's deep pockets are also matched by their philanthropy, including major donations to Thompson Rivers University and Vancouver General Hospital. From a single motel in northern BC to the owner's box of an NHL team, the Gagliardi story is one of resilience, strategic growth and asserting their influence far beyond Vancouver's borders. Coming in at number 6 is the Aquilini family. If you've ever cheered on the Vancouver Canucks, you've been a customer of the Aquilini Investment Group. But if you think their influence stops at Rogers Arena, you are seriously underestimating them. The family, led by patriarch Luigi Aquilini and managed by his sons Francesco, Roberto and Paolo, runs a massive conglomerate with deep roots in sectors that are pure British Columbia, real estate, agriculture and hospitality. With a net worth estimated to be in the range of $3.3 billion, their story is a classic immigrant success tale. Luigi Aquilini came to Canada from Italy in the mid-1950s and started with a small construction company. He built houses one by one, then graduated to apartment buildings. His game plan was simple: buy and hold. He saw the long-term value in the land of his new home, a vision that became the bedrock of a multi-billion-dollar dynasty. This wasn't about flipping properties for a quick buck. It was about laying a foundation, literally, for generations. Today, that foundation is colossal, While the exact net worth of the family is hard to pin down due to a complex network of private trusts, their empire is easily worth billions. The Vancouver Canucks hockey team and Rogers Arena are their most visible assets, but they're just the flagship of a much bigger fleet. Their real estate arm, Aquilini Development, is a major force in the region, with projects reshaping entire communities like the master-planned boardwalk in Sauwasan. They've also built condo towers in North Vancouver and are partners in developing Quashin Village in Burnaby with local indigenous groups. But what really locks the Aquilini family onto this list is their connection to the land itself. Beyond the concrete and glass, they run one of the biggest agricultural businesses in the province. Their Golden Eagle Group manages huge cranberry and blueberry operations, making them one of the top growers for the Ocean Spray Cooperative. This vertical integration is wild. It's totally possible that cranberries grown on an Aquilini farm are sold at a Stong's Market, a grocery chain they own, to a fan on their way to a Canucks game at Rogers Arena, an arena they also own. This intricate web of businesses, from sports and entertainment to the food people eat and the homes they live in, shows a deep, strategic investment in the day-to-day life of the Lower Mainland. The Aquilini Empire is a testament to a 60-year journey from one man with a construction job to a dynasty that owns a piece of the Vancouver experience itself. We're about to crack the top 5, where the numbers get truly mind-boggling and the influence becomes even more fundamental. If you're finding this look behind Vancouver's curtain of wealth interesting, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It helps our channel bring more of these hidden stories to light. Now let's get to our top 5. At number 5, we have a man who rebuilt a family dynasty in Canada after losing everything. Hassan Khosrow Shahi is the visionary founder of Future Shop, and his story is a powerful lesson in resilience and second acts. After arriving in Vancouver as a refugee from Iran, he created Canada's largest electronics retailer, sold it for a fortune, and then quietly built a new empire in real estate and private equity. With a net worth estimated to be between $1.2 and $2.7 billion, his journey is one of profound reinvention. Born in Tehran in 1940, Hassan Khosrow Shahi grew up in a prominent family that owned the Minu Industrial Group, a major conglomerate in food and pharmaceuticals. He was educated in law and economics and joined the family business. But in 1979, the Iranian Revolution changed everything. The family's company was nationalized, and they were forced to flee the country. They settled in Vancouver in 1981, having left their fortune behind. Instead of retiring, Hassan started over. In 1982, he founded a single electronics store called Future Shop. He correctly gambled that Canadians were on the verge of a home technology boom. The big box store model, offering a massive selection of TVS, stereos and computers, was a huge hit. By the mid-90s, Future Shop was the dominant electronics retailer in the country, with over $2 billion in annual sales. In 2001, in a move that cemented his status as a brilliant entrepreneur, Khosrow Shahi sold Future Shop to its American rival, Best Buy, for a staggering $580 million. That sale was not an ending, but the beginning of his next chapter. Through his private holding company, Persis Holdings, he diversified his wealth. His real estate arm, Westbuild, is responsible for major developments like the sprawling Westwood Plateau community in Coquitlam. He also made savvy investments in pharmaceutical royalties and other ventures. Today, Hassan Khosrow Shahi lives in one of Vancouver's most valuable mansions in West Point Grey and is known for his significant, yet often quiet, philanthropy. His story is the embodiment of the immigrant dream, demonstrating that with vision and drive, it's possible to build and rebuild a massive fortune. Our number 4 spot belongs to a man who didn't just build a company. He basically invented a global category that now defines Vancouver's modern identity. We're talking about Dennis Chip Wilson, the founder of Lululemon Athletica. Every time you see someone walking through Kitsilano with a yoga mat wearing high-end athleisure, you are seeing the cultural footprint of Chip Wilson. His story is one of visionary branding, disruptive ideas, and, a bit of controversy. With a net worth estimated at $6.8 billion, Wilson's fortune is tied to a lifestyle he didn't just sell, but actively manufactured and exported to the world, all from Vancouver. The Lululemon story didn't start in a boardroom. It started with a personal problem. In the late 90s, Wilson took a yoga class and realized the cotton clothes everyone wore were terrible for a sweaty workout. That simple observation sparked a revolutionary idea: create stylish, technical athletic gear designed for yoga. In 2000, he opened his first Lululemon store in Kitsilano, which turned out to be the perfect breeding ground for his brand. It was more than a store. It was a community hub that tapped right into Vancouver's growing wellness culture. This was Wilson's genius. He wasn't just selling black stretch pants, he was selling an aspirational lifestyle. He created a uniform for the health-conscious, affluent Vancouverite. And it turned out the rest of the world wanted it too. Lululemon exploded from that one shop to over 700 stores worldwide. And even though Wilson stepped away from the board in 2015 after a series of controversial public statements, he's still a major shareholder with a 7% stake, so his wealth is deeply connected to its success. Wilson's impact on Vancouver goes way beyond the corporate world. He's a huge player in the city's most exclusive real estate. For years, his waterfront mansion on Point Grey Road has been BC's most expensive home. Valued at well over $70 million, the 15,000-square-foot home is a landmark of Vancouver wealth. This one property is probably the most powerful symbol of the incredible fortune his vision created. Today, the Wilson family's wealth is managed through a holding company called, and you gotta love this name, Hold It All. The firm invests in other apparel companies, real estate and private equity. He even saw a massive return on his investment in Amir Sports, the owner of another iconic Vancouver brand, Arc'teryx, cementing his status as a kingmaker in the apparel industry. Chip Wilson saw the future of fashion and wellness, built an empire on it from a little shop in a Vancouver neighborhood, and forever linked the name Lululemon with the city where it all began. Coming in at number 3 is a man who completely breaks the mold. He is, without a doubt, one of the most brilliant and low-key multi-billionaires on the planet, and he calls Vancouver home. We're talking about David Cheriton, often called the Professor Billionaire. With a net worth of around $14.3 billion, Cheriton represents a totally different kind of Vancouver wealth. One built not on local industry, but on a single legendary bet on the digital world, all while living a famously frugal life. Born in Vancouver, David Cheriton is a product of the city's public schools and a UBC grad. His journey wasn't about corporate takeovers. It was about pure academic brainpower and a deep understanding of computer science. After getting his PhD, he landed a job as a professor at Stanford University, a position he still holds as Professor Emeritus. It was on his own front porch in Palo Alto back in 1998 that history was made. 2 of his PhD students, a couple of bright guys named Larry Page and Sergey Brin, came to him with an idea for a new internet search engine. They needed seed money to get their little company, which was just a concept at that point, off the ground. Cheriton saw the genius in their idea. He and a business partner each wrote a check for $100,000. That company was Google. That one investment has since bloomed into a fortune worth billions, making it one of the most successful angel investments of all time. Yet, what makes Cheriton's story so fascinating is how much he dislikes the billionaire lifestyle. He famously drives a 1986 Volkswagen van, has lived in the same house for 4 decades, and has even been known to cut his own hair. He once told a reporter, "These people who build houses with 13 bathrooms, there's something wrong with them." But what's his connection to Vancouver besides being his birthplace? It's a connection of roots and giving back. Cheriton has made huge donations to his alma maters, including $25 million to the University of Waterloo, which named its computer science school after him, and $7.5 million to UBC to support its computer science programs. His wealth, made in Silicon Valley, is now being used to grow the next generation of tech innovators right here in Canada. He represents the pinnacle of intellectual capital, a Vancouverite whose fortune came from seeing the future before anyone else. Our number 2 spot goes to a titan of global commerce who, like our number 3, chose to make Vancouver one of his homes. Joseph Tsai is a name that carries weight in Hong Kong boardrooms and on New York basketball courts, but his Canadian citizenship and Vancouver residency plant him firmly in the city's ultra-wealthy ecosystem. With a staggering net worth of around $12.1 billion, Tsai's story is all about bridging East and West, and his presence here says a lot about Vancouver's role as a safe harbour for international capital. Born in Taiwan, Joseph Tsai is a Canadian citizen with a law degree from Yale. His life changed forever in 1999 when he was working as a private equity exec in Hong Kong. He met a charismatic former English teacher named Jack Ma, who had this wild idea for an online marketplace to connect Chinese manufacturers with the world. Tsai was so blown away by Ma's vision that he agreed to quit his high-paying job to join the startup Alibaba for just $50 a month. It was a crazy gamble that paid off on an unimaginable scale. Tsai was the brains behind the operation. While Ma was the visionary frontman, Tsai built Alibaba's entire corporate and financial structure from scratch. He eventually became the executive vice chairman and now chairman of Alibaba Group, the e-commerce giant that completely changed global trade. He's the company's second largest individual shareholder, which is the source of his immense fortune. While his business is based in Asia, Tsai's North American connections are deep. He owns the NBA's Brooklyn Nets and the WNBA's New York Liberty, making him a major player in pro sports. So why Vancouver? For global billionaires like Tsai, Vancouver offers stability and a high quality of life, a secure place to anchor part of their lives, even if their main business is elsewhere. He has a residence here, and that Canadian passport solidifies his connection. His story is less about building Vancouver's local economy and more about what his presence says about Vancouver's place on the world stage. He represents the transnational billionaire class, for whom Vancouver is a key outpost in a global network of wealth and influence. And that brings us to number 1, to the man and the family whose empire isn't just in Vancouver, it basically is the economic bedrock of British Columbia. A man so woven into the province's commerce that Bob Hope once joked that BC stood for belongs to a company of his. We are, of course, talking about Jim Pattison. With a net worth of $11.4 billion, Jim Pattison is consistently one of Canada's richest people. But it's not just the money that puts him at the undisputed top of this list. It's the sheer depth and diversity of his company, the Jim Pattison Group, and how it's plugged into the daily lives of Vancouverites. If you've bought groceries, driven a car, listened to the radio, or read a Guinness World Records book, you have been a customer of his empire. His is the ultimate Canadian rags-to-riches story. Born in Saskatchewan during the Great Depression, his family moved to East Vancouver looking for a better life. Young Jim's work ethic was forged in hardship. He delivered newspapers, picked fruit, worked as a hotel page boy, anything he could find. He briefly attended UBC but dropped out, finding his true calling in sales. It all started on a used car lot. He discovered he had a natural gift for selling. In 1961, in an incredible act of self-belief, he got a $40,000 loan from the bank, using his house and life insurance as collateral, to open his own Pontiac dealership on Main Street in Vancouver. From that single dealership, Pattison began a relentless, decades-long shopping spree. The Jim Pattison Group is now Canada's second largest privately held company, a massive conglomerate with over 45,000 employees and revenues reportedly around $14 to $16 billion a year. The scope of his empire is staggering. The Pattison Food Group runs household names like Save On Foods, Urban Fare and Price Smart Foods. His auto group is one of the largest in Canada. His media division owns dozens of radio and TV stations. The company owns Pattison Outdoor, Canada's largest billboard company, so the ads you see on your commute are probably his. But it goes deeper. The group owns Ripley's Believe It or Not and Guinness World Records. It owns Ocean Brand Seafood. From fish to finance, cars to cartoons, the Pattison web touches almost every part of the economy. At 96 years old, Jim Pattison reportedly still goes to the office every day. His influence on Vancouver is monumental. He was the chairman of the Expo 86 Corporation, the world's fair that put Vancouver on the global map. And then there's his philanthropy. The Pattison name is carved onto the city's most important hospitals. His most famous gift was a jaw-dropping $75 million donation to the St. Paul's Hospital Foundation, the largest donation by a private citizen to a single medical facility in Canadian history, to help build the new Jim Pattison Medical Centre. From a kid selling seeds in East Van to a titan of industry, Jim Pattison's story is Vancouver's story. His family's fortune wasn't just parked here, it was forged here, it's managed here, and it's constantly reinvested here. While others on this list are technically wealthier, no one has an influence that is as deep, as broad, and as fundamentally intertwined with the past, present, and future of Vancouver. So there you have it. From the quiet philanthropy of the Chan family to the retail dominance of Brant Louis, from the industrial might of the Beedies to the hospitality empire of the Gaglardis, from the sports and real estate empire of the Aquilines to the second-act success of Hassan Khosrow Shahi, from the global lifestyle brand built by Chip Wilson to the quiet genius of tech investor David Cheriton, from the international deal-making of Joseph Tsai, and finally to the all-encompassing, homegrown conglomerate of Jim Pattison. These are the families at the top of Vancouver's economic food chain. Their stories show that wealth in this city is a complex mix of local grit, global capital, and brilliant ideas. Their influence is undeniable. It's in the jobs they create, the teams they own, and the buildings they put up. These fortunes aren't just numbers on a list, they are active forces that are constantly shaping the physical and cultural landscape of Vancouver. The next time you walk through this city, look at the names on the buildings, the brands in the stores, and the skyline against the mountains. You might just see it a little differently now. Which of these families do you think has the biggest impact on your life? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.